Hello, hi, how are you? It's a very long day. We still have more sessions. This session is going to be moderated in English language, so please, for non-English speakers, if you want translation devices, please get one from outside. الجلسة دي هتدار باللغة الإنجليزية، فلو حد حابب الترجمة متوفرة، بس لازم يحصل على جهاز ترجمة من بره. تمام، احنا خلاص هنبتدي أول جلسة أو الجلسات اللي ستقام النهاردة. We are going to start. First of all, let me welcome everyone. We are so happy that you're here on the second day of the ICIL conference. This session is going to be moderated by a very interesting person, Dr. Mathew Moyo. Dr. Mathew Moyo is the Chief Director of Library and Information Services at Northwest University and the Chair of ICIL Africa's Standing Committee in South Africa. Let's welcome Dr. Moyo. Please. Let me just tell you more about Dr. Moyo. Excuse me. Dr. Moyo holds a master's and doctoral degree in information science in addition to graduate qualifications in knowledge and information systems management and leadership. His experience in academia spans more than 25 years. He has worked in various management as well as academic research roles. Apart from his current role as Chief Director, Dr. Mathew is affiliated to the social transformation research area where he continues to make a contribution as a researcher. His work interests are in the areas of governance and leadership, mentorship, capacity building, teamwork, and strategy, among others. His research interests are in the areas of information literacy, information behavior, research, data literacy, knowledge, and information system management. In his current role as Chief Director, Dr. Mathew is affiliated to a number of professional organizations and boards, including serving as the General Chair of the International Conference on Information Literacy, ICIL Africa, which we are hosting this year in Egypt. This is actually the third round here happening or taking place in Egypt, which is the sister conference to the European Conference on Information Literacy, ECIL. He has presented papers at national and international conferences and appreciates collaborating with colleagues in similar research interests and area of expertise on both national and international levels. Dr. Mathew, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Welcome to this session, which is our second session in terms of formal presentations today. This session is sometimes referred to as the graveyard for obvious reasons, particularly that it comes after the international lunch break. But fortunately here, we just had a coffee break. So I hope we are all alert and ready to listen to the presentations that are lined up. I did speak to some of the presenters, and they promised me that they will keep you awake so that at the end of each session, you'll be able to interact, interrogate their presentations, ask questions. And each presenter is allocated about 20 minutes. Because of time, for need of time, I'm not going to go into details in terms of their profiles. I'll just introduce them, then they come up here and they do their presentation. We have 5 papers that are lined up, as you can see on the program, and I hope we have all the presenters in the room. There's one online session, and we hope the online participants are also available to do their presentations. But first is Dr. Mohamed. Yes. Okay, fortunately they are here. He is the CEO of the Egyptian Prime Vision here in Egypt. Let's join me in welcoming Dr. Mohamed to the stage. So he will have about 15 minutes of presentation, then he can join me here for about 5 minutes, and you can ask questions during the 5 minutes period. Then after that, I'll call the next presenter to the stage. So after Dr. Mohamed, we then have Dr. Ahmed Bassion. Yes. Okay, thank you. Fortunately, he's here.
Okay.
If you are ready.
Yes.
Yes, you can take it away.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Ms. Dr. Mathew, for your introduction. Today we will be speaking about the magic of AI's magic cataloging and metadata creation. This session is supposed to be in Arabic as I prepare the presentation, but the presentation is in English. So I will try to combine between Arabic and English to make it clear for everyone. Most of us know the role of AIs now. Because AI is have a great role in libraries, especially in metadata. As we know, and a lot of us tried ChatGPT in making cataloging and using it with bibliographic records, and tried to manipulating the MARC records and the bibliographic record to use AI and ChatGPT especially. In this session, I will tell you about our experiment and our try and our tests in ChatGPT to create bibliographic record and dealing with MARC records. Actually, we can use AI and we can use ChatGPT to create records from scratch. If we put the essential information for the record or for the book or any information resource, we can create a full MARC record using ChatGPT. Even we use the free version of ChatGPT, or if we use the paid version of ChatGPT, ChatGPT 4.0. We can use also ChatGPT to correct the bibliographic record. If we put, if we enter the MARC record as raw MARC, that the computer can deal with it, we can make compilation from the raw MARC to flat MARC and deal with the record using ChatGPT and correct the errors in these records. We can also use ChatGPT to complete the missing data in the bibliographic records. So ChatGPT can access the online catalogs like Library of Congress or another library catalogs in the internet, and we can give him the ISBN number and he will get the bibliographic record. We know we can't get the most of the records, but the ability is available. We can use ChatGPT to make the search in the library catalogs and get the bibliographic record or complete the data of the bibliographic record that we have. We can also use ChatGPT to make the romanization process for every record that we have. Even we have language like Hebrew, like Arabic, like Chinese, whatever, we can use ChatGPT to make the romanization and put the vernacular fields of every field that we are making romanization for it, like author, like title, like subject, like publisher, and etc. We can use also ChatGPT to making OCR for book covers and title pages. If we upload title page for any book or information resource, ChatGPT can get the information from the book, even it was in Arabic. ChatGPT can gather information from the title page and the book cover and another resources in any book that we have, and make the bibliographic record from the information that we have. We can use ChatGPT also to create an authority records using the headings that we have. Even we will create authority record for subject, for organization, for author. We can create authority record using the information that we have. Also, we can use ChatGPT in extracting subjects and and put the classification number of any book or any information resources that we have. It depends on the title and any keywords that we can give it to ChatGPT to create the bibliographic record and complete subject and pod classifications. This is also very essential point to migrating Mark 21 format or metadata format to another metadata format. We can use ChatGPT to migrate it to Dublin Core, to RDF, BFrame, JSON format, whatever the format. ChatGPT will do this job greatly. We will do this job very well, and the result will be accurate. We need to know the difference between generating record from scratch when we don't have any information about the book, like we give him a sentence like, please make cataloging record for Hamlet, the first edition. Maybe we face hallucination from ChatGPT, but if we give the ChatGPT the fixed information that we need to create the record using it, even it was Mark 21, Dublin Core, whatever, it will work well. Conclusion, the future of ChatGPT and generative AI is great in making the cataloging records, and we can use it and depend on it in the cataloging process. Here we have some examples. In this example, we give him to make cataloging record for book with title تاريخ الكتب والمكتبات by author Dr. شعبان عبد العزيز خليفة, publishing by الدار المصرية اللبنانية 2001. This is the publishing date. ChatGPT created the whole bibliographic record and put the information that we have for title and for information, and he also make the romanization for the records and for the data that we have. He put the main titles in 100 and 245 and 246, 240, 264, and put the vernacular fields for every entry of this in 880 at the last of the records. Also in this case, we upload cover, book cover. This book cover include title and another information for the information resources, and we told him to make Mark 21 record for this cover. He extract all the information available in the title, in the title page and in the cover, and put it in bibliographic record complete Mark 21. This is another example. We also create Mark 21, and it was missing character in 008. The country code was not correct, so we tell him to correct the country code in 008 according to the publishing country, and ChatGPT do that. Also, here we have migration to Dublin Core from Mark 21. We told ChatGPT to migrate the record from Mark 21 to Dublin Core. Here is migration to BibFrame or RDF. In this example, we have a raw mark. This is the format that computer understands, and it needs a compiler to extract this kind of records. We can use ChatGPT to extract this record and make the compilation process for this record. When we put it to ChatGPT, it can create the flat mark that all of us can understand it. Even the items data in 949, it migrates all the raw mark data to the flat mark that we can understand. In this case, I request from ChatGPT to make romanization for the record, the previous record. We make the romanization for the previous record and put the 880 for every field that we need to make romanization. Finally, we have a great tool we can use, and it can help all the catalogers. We can't lay on this tool at all. We can't lay on this tool only until now. But the future for this tool, I think it will be great and will be very helpful for every cataloger, and maybe replace the cataloging process in a time that we will face. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohamed. We really appreciate your presentation. It was short, sweet, and precise. And I must also congratulate you. This area is usually hardly represented in literature. I think we can all agree. So congratulations for tackling such a difficult subject. Are there any questions for Dr. Mohamed? Those of us who are familiar with cataloging classification, perhaps this is of interest. We have mics in the room. There's also a roving mic. Dina, please go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Moyo. Thanks a lot for that presentation. I just want to ask, unfortunately I joined a bit late, but in terms of language, do you think that AI can be able, because in terms of cataloging as well, in terms of language representation, because there are also dialect issues. For example, a spoken language in South Africa. For example, I'll just give an example of a Zulu language that's spoken in South Africa. You'd find that there's a lot of variations of that language. If you go to one province, it's spoken in a different way as opposed to another province. Do you think that can also pose a challenge in terms of cataloging, making sure that the resources in various dialect variations can also be represented as well? Thanks.
Because of this issue especially, we use diacritics in writing all the vernacular fields. Library of Congress is making cataloging for a lot of language all of the world. So they are using the Latin script to write the title and publisher and author and etc. And they are write these fields with diacritics to transfer the voice and the vocals, and to make it clear for everyone read this script to understand how we speak, or how we I think, yes, how we speak, or يعني it's related to the delegates that you are talking about. So the diacritics will solve this problem, as Library of Congress is using this way to write the cataloging fields in every field. Also, we can use authority files because authority files can have more than fields like C, and C also references that can refer to another field with another format or another way to write the name or the subject or another thing.
Thank you. Any other question? Yeah, there are two questions at the back. One on my left, and at the back, and in front here, in that order.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
معلش بس انا هسأل حضرتك سؤالين صغيرين. هو احنا بنتكلم على تشات جي بي تي عادي، اي واحد جنرال تشات جي بي تي يقدر يعمل كده، ولا في حاجه مخصصه للكتالوجينج؟ يعني ده اول سؤال. السؤال الثاني، الريكورد اللي بيطلع لي لو انا بقى لو هو from scratch يعني، هل بيبقى reliable 100% ولا بيحتاج ان انا برضو ستيل الكتالوجر اللي ماسك الكتالوجينج بروسيس يراجع بقى ويشوف الدنيا ماشيه ازاي ويشوف اذا كان في اي اخطاء؟ بس شكرا جزيلا لحضرتك على البرزنتيشن.
طيب خلينا نميز بين 3 حاجات. شات جي بي تي الفري بيقدر يعمل ده، بيقدر يعمل ده، بس اغلب التجارب اللي موجوده هنا كانت الباي مش الفري. الاكيورسي بتاعه الريكوردز اللي بتطلع من شات جي بي تي هنقسمها لحاجتين. انا مديله داتا، الداتا دي في وات ايفر فورمات، انا مديله الداتا دي في شكل نص مكتوب زي ما حضراتكم شفتم، كتاب عنوانه كذا، تأليف فلان الفلاني، نشر كذا، وتاريخ نشره كذا، ولغة الكتاب كذا، او مديله الكتاب واخد كوبي من سايتيشن موجود في رسالة، او واخد كوبي واخد برنت سكرين من كاتالوجينج ريكورد معموله بشكل الانترناشونال ستاندرد بوك ديسكريبشن اللي هو الشكل التقليدي اللي معروف عليه، ورافعها للسيستم. في الحاله دي طالما مديله داتا مظبوطه، الداتا هتطلع مظبوط، الداتا بنسبه كبيره جدا هتطلع مظبوط. تمام. في تشالنجز ممكن نلاقي مثلا، ودي حاجه معروفه جدا ومشهوره عنه، ان الكود اللي بيتحط في 008 مكان اللانجوج ساعات كتير ما بيستخدمش الكود المظبوط. يعني ايجيبت هتلاقيه كاتبها اي والكود المظبوط لايجيبت بيكون يو اي. ففي الحاله دي احنا عارفين ان في مشكله بشكل معين، فعلى مستوى ال ام اللي بتمانيبيوليت اصلا الداتا، احنا نقدر نعالجها مستقبلا، نقول له بدل ما انت بتعتمد على قائمه الابريفيشنز بتاعه اللغات دي، لا حضرتك هتجيب القائمه الثانيه، فبالتالي دي حاجه هتتظبط معانا. فيبقى انا عندي قدر من الدقه، انا اعتقد ان النهارده تخطى 90%. لازم الكتالوجر يعمل سكند ريفيو، اكيد لازم يعمل سكند ريفيو، ولكن نسبه الاكيورسي بتاعته بقت كبيره جدا. تمام. طبعا في نقطة كمان، لما نيجي نجرب على الفري ممكن تلاقيه وهو بيعمل لك الكتالوجينج، يعمل لك الكتالوجينج ب 260 على شغال على قواعد ال AACR2. حضرتك محتاج ان انت تكتب له في البرومبت بتاعه يوز ال RDA كاتالوجينج رولز. اوكي؟ طيب النقطة الثانية ان احنا محتاجين ان احنا الجزء بقى اللي موجود paid في اوبشن ان احنا نقدر نقول له كرييت سبيشال موديول. السبيشال موديول ده انا بديله انبوتس معينه، بقول له انا محتاج ان انت تكرييت سبيشال موديول كان كرييت مارك 21 using RDA cataloging rules and put romanization on these rules. So انا بحط له كل الرولز اللي انا محتاجه يمشي عليها، وبقول له ان انت لو بديلك بوك كفر تعمل له OCR، هتعمل له OCR وتاخد الداتا. ممكن مثلا انا ابعت له بوك كفر وابعت له تايتل، اقول له خليك دايما معتمد على التايتل بيج نوت الكفر بيج عشان تاخد المين انفورميشن بتاعتك. فبناء على الداتا اللي حضرتك بتبني بيها التول بتاعتك في الشات جي بي تي المدفوع، هتلاقي الموضوع بقى اسهل، ما بقتش محتاج ان انت في كل مره to write the description of this tool to create الريكورد اللي انت عايزه.
Thank you. Thank you. For need of time, I will request that the two questions, if you can just confine to what you want to ask, so that we save a bit of some time. I understand the CEO is still here. We can further engage during tea time or lunch break. There's a question there at the back.
Thank you, Dr. Moyo, for the opportunity. I'm very much impressed about this innovation, and I actually want to know more about it because I am into cataloging. The big problem is that books that we usually get from the Middle East, let me say India, and my own country, Ghana, and other parts of Africa, are difficult to find in the OCLC database. So you spoke about importing the metadata from the WorldCat or OCLC. Have you searched around to find out whether these publishers' books that are coming from our part of the world are available, and can AI be able to get those kind of metadata for us?
ChatGPT will not get any cataloging record from OCLC or WorldCat because they are selling their cataloging records. Until now, ChatGPT can access only the free resources that we can get cataloging record from it. But I think all the companies and all the organizations that they are working in the bibliographic field and description for metadata, they need to use AI, and they have to use AI in the future because it will be very useful for cataloging process, and it will help all the cataloger to make the cataloging and put the details of the record, like subject, like classification, like whatever missing data. It will save time and cost for the libraries and for the catalogers.
Thank you. Thank you. There's another question at the back there. Oh, thank you so much. Then we can save time. There's one there.
I'm wondering, on the scale of the research paper, there is a possibility that ChatGPT get the contents and the references, even if I get the paper or the written research, and it could help me in this issue?
Yes, we know generative AI like GPT or another tool. We can upload a PDF now and tell him to summarize this paper. It can do that. But in scientific way, we can't rely on this way to make the summarization. It needs reviewing and modification from the researcher if we will depend on the outputs, these outputs in our work. In another way, we have some softwares that detect the text that's written by generative AI. So the scientific research can use AI, but it can depend on the text as it. If we can't use the text as it, but it can summarize documents and summarize PDFs and another documents.
But even if the references are written in the main paper, I know there's some softwares like Word.
Written in what?
The references are written in the paper, inside the paper.
Yes.
And I want to extract.
You mean
them.
to extract the?
Yes,
the
I know that Word, and there is many softwares,
yes.
but GPT can.
Yes,
practice
sure.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Any very last burning question now that it's a rare topic? I saw a hand here earlier. I think it has been addressed. Okay, thank you so much. So it was really an interesting presentation I listed about 3 C's, but there's one that was continuously repeated: creating, correcting, completing, romanicization, extracting, and so on and so on. This was quite an interesting paper. Please, let's give Dr. Mohamed a big round of applause. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. Right, next is Dr. Ahmed. Okay. He's a senior library specialist here at the Library of Alexandria. Please welcome him to the stage. So we are also going to give him about 15 minutes of presentation. Then after that, we have 5 minutes of question and answer session. If I can then just ask Dr. Mohsen to prepare yourself. Directly after him, you'll be ascending the stage to make your presentation. Right, if you are ready, Doctor. It's over to you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. كل الشكر للدكتور ماثيو مايو. كل الشكر للدكتور محمد مسعد بالزلباني. الحقيقة المحاضرة الرائعة اللي هو اداها لي دي أو اداها لنا صعبت جدا 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 مهمتي، لأن أنا حياتي المهنية كلها في الفهرسة. شد انتباهي جامد جدا، وده يعني أرجو إن هو ما يأثرش على انتباهي في اللي أنا هديه، لأن أنا ركزت معاه جامد جدا واستمتعت، وكنت مانع نفسي إن أنا أسأل عشان يعني أحافظ على ما بقي عندي من انتباه. سريعا هحاول إن احنا نستعرض العرض اللي بنتكلم عنه. بداية يعني من 10 سنوات تقريبا، أنا يعني أتمنى المحاضرة تكون بسيطة وفي نفس الوقت مفيدة. يعني من 10 سنوات تقريبا كان معايا بنتي الصغيرة، كنا قاعدين في ساحة طعام في فود كورت في مكان، طلبت مني سندوتش برجر. مجرد ما اتكلمنا لقيت جايلي على التليفون دعايات لأماكن البرجر اللي حوالينا. في نفس الأسبوع أو في نفس الأيام لقيت زميل حكى موقف غريب جدا، إنه هو كان في الشارع ماشي وشاف ساعة عجبته في محل، فوقف قدام الساعة اتفرج عليها وشاف سعرها ومشى، لقى إعلانات الساعات جاياله على تليفونه. الكلام ده من 10 سنين، دلوقتي احنا كلنا متعاملين. من 10 سنين كان الوضع مبهر جدا. الكلام ده كان أظن في بداية 2015 على ما أذكر، يعني كان الوضع مبهر جدا. وأنا الموضوع توقفت قدامه جامد جدا وسألت كذا حد، حتى المهندسين اللي في الاي تي الزملاء برضو ما كانوش عندهم الإجابات الشافية والوافية، لغاية اما مهندس قال لي ده أصل أنت اتكلمت مع بنتك فطلعت الصوت من البيانات الضخمة وتم انتقاء كلمة البرجر، فشافوا الأماكن المحيطة باللوكيشن فبعت لك الإعلان عشان وصل ده. وعلى طول وصل لي على طول وصل لي. طيب وزميلي اللي كان بيتفرج على الساعة ده اللوكيشن المتحرك بتاع تليفونه وقف قدام اللوكيشن الثابت بتاع محل الساعة، وده تفاعل مع ده، فهم محركات البحث فهمت إن هو مهتم فاتبعت له دعاية عن. طبعا في الفترة دي كان يعني حاجة مبهرة جدا. أهمية البيانات الضخمة دي بوجه عام إيه؟ طبعا هي مهمة جدا، أو أهميتها لنا إيه في المكتبات؟ إحنا مجتمع معرفة، إحنا بنشتغل في البيانات والمعلومات. مهم نستخدم التقنية دي، أحد أهم التقنيات الواجب توفرها. المشكلة بقى إن اللي إحنا بنشتغل عليه حاليا لا يواكب هذا الاستفادة ولا يواكب هذا الاستخدام. طيب نتخيل بقى إن الدراسات العربية فعلا نادرة جدا. يعني أول ما كنت بعد الدراسة دي لما قدمت قبلها ما كنتش لاقي تقريبا دراسات عربية نهائي، والدراسات اللي موجودة فقيرة جدا، ما كانتش على المستوى اللي احنا محتاجينه. ايه الإشكالية؟ الإشكالية ان عندنا بيانات ضخمة كتيرة جدا جدا جدا، أغلبها مش منتظم، متنوعة الأشكال. يعني طب إيه هي البيانات الضخمة ببساطة؟ طبعا عشان ترجع للبيانات الضخمة هتخش في تعريفات، التعريفات كتيرة ومتنوعة، طب تاخد ده ولا ده، وكلها مش. لكن لو بناخد، لو هنقول أكاديميا، يعني التعريف الإجرائي للدراسة هي ذلك الكم الهائل من البيانات مختلفة المصادر، متنوعة الأشكال، ضخمة الأحجام، سريعة الإنتاج والانتشار مع ما تحمله من قيمة. طبعا كلها حاجة إلكترونية رقمية. أهميتها نفسها، وفرتها المفرطة مع ما تحمله من قيمة. تحليلها بيكشف الاتجاهات الإجرامية، لو احنا ممكن نمنع جريمة قبل الوقوع، ممكن بنستفيد بيها تجاريا زي ما قلنا، سلوكيا، وظيفيا، بنقدر ان احنا نستخدم الحاجات دي، تستخدم في مكافحه الارهاب ورسم السياسات. طبعا يكفي ان نعلم ان البيت الابيض الامريكي انفق اكثر من 200 مليون دولار في مشروع البيانات الضخمه. الاحصائيه دي قديمه شويه، لان الحاجات دي يعني مش يعني لها نوع من انواع السريه، فدي 2017. فاذا كان طبعا الانفاق ده اكيد وراه استفاده، هم مش بينفقوا كده. طيب ايه اهم الخصائص بتاعتها؟ التنوع، السرعه، الحجم. هو كانت كلها بالفي، قالوا الاول 3 في، بعد كده ال 3 دي بقت 5. زودوا المصداقيه والقيمه، زودوا بعد كده برضو التصور والالتصاق لكن اهم 3 حاجات ثابتين هي التنوع، الفوريه او السرعه، والقيمه. لو بنتكلم عنهم التنوع، البيانات الضخمه دي بتكون ايه؟ بتكون حاجات متنوعه جدا. الصور، صورتي او الصور اللي انا بصورها، الفيديوهات، التسجيلات الصوتيه، المنشورات، السيرش اللي انا بكتب انا بدور على ساعه معينه الاقي الاعلان جالي، الموقع الجغرافي اللي انا فيه، كل ده التغريد، سواء السيرش ده او البحث، او ان انا وقفت قدام بوست معين سواء في تويتر او في فيسبوك او مقطع فيديو او تسجيل صوتي اتسمع ان بنتي بتقول لي انا عايزه برجر، او صور فوتوغرافيه معينه. التليفون لما بيتحط قدام الطفل بيجي له اعلان يناسب طفل، لكن لو مسكته امه بيجي له اعلان يناسب امراه. لو مسكوا راجل كبير في السن وباين من الملامح بيجي اعلان يناسب راجل كبير في السن. لو مسكوا واحد شاب بيجي اعلان يناسب ده كل ده فعلى طول بفوريه. ما احنا قلنا ايه؟ التنوع والسرعه، في نفس الوقت يجي له الاعلان، في نفس الوقت يجي له الاعلان. بنت بتقول لي عايزه سندوتش، جالي الاعلان وانا اول ما مسكت التليفون، مفيش وقت. مع كل هذه الضخامه او مع كل هذه البيانات اللي بتيجي، السرعه المذهله التي يتم بها انشاء ومعالجه البيانات ومشاركتها على طول مع مواقع التواصل المستخدمه، الحجم. طبعا ان احنا بنتكلم في صور، في فيديوهات، في سيرش، في جاي من فيسبوك، جاي من تويتر، جاي من هنا، من ده حاجه ضخمه جدا جدا جدا. فيسبوك يتناول 31 مليون رساله، يتم تحميل كذا 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 9 تيرا. الارقام دي عشان بس نقدر نعرف الدنيا داخله، زي ما دكتور شوقي سالم كان تفضل في المحاضره اللي خدناها، داخله في الزيتا بايت، حاجات بارقام مهوله، بارقام مهوله. احنا زي ما قال اعلى حاجه دلوقتي وصلنا لها التيرا بايت، احنا واصلين بقى للزيتا بايت. هل البيانات بقى اللي في المكتبه يقولوا عليها بيانات ضخمه؟ احنا علاقتنا ايه كمكتبيين؟ طب ليه؟ طبعا الدراسات كلها اتكلمت في كده، لان المواد المرقمنه في المكتبه، السيرش على المكتبه، الناس اللي بتخش تبحث، طب بتبحث عن ايه؟ طب التفاصيل، طب البنات بيدوروا على ايه، والطلبه بيدوروا على ايه، والطالبات بيدوروا على ايه، والاقل سنا بيدور على ايه، واكبر سنا بيدور على ايه، وكذلك السرعه بيتحقق فيها 3 شروط: الحجم والتنوع والسرعه فعلا. طيب المصدرين الاساسيين اللي المكتبه بتاخد منها وسائل التواصل الاجتماعي الالكترونيه بين المكتبه والمستفيد، والنقطه الثانيه قواعد البيانات الالكترونيه. دي المصادر الاساسيه. طب في مصادر ثانيه؟ في مصادر ثانيه. المؤتمر زينا، زي اللي احنا فيه، الندوات، المحاضرات، ورش العمل، المهرجانات، المعارض الفنيه، التعليقات اللي عليها نفسها بيكشف ميول المجتمع. يا ريت تعملوا كذا، يا ريت يبقى في كذا، يبقى انا استفدت هعمل كذا كذلك. طيب متطلبات المكتبه ايه؟ قدرات ومهارات العاملين، دي مهمه جدا، تدريب وقدرات ومهارات العاملين. قدرات التنظيميه والتقنيه، جمع وحفظ. الكلام ده بيشمل، انا مش عايز اتعمق يعني لكن بيشمل الامكانيات الماديه والامكانيات المهاريه والامكانيات الاداريه والماليه. الحقيقه الاول اقتصر تحليل مجموعات البيانات الضخمه في المؤسسات بسبب ضخامه التكاليف. النهارده اساسا بيجي لك اعلان لايس كريم، فضخامه التكاليف كان الاول الحكومات بس هي اللي بتمانج الموضوع ده، الحكومات بس هي اللي بتدير البيانات. لكن حاليا لا، حاليا اصبح محلات بسيطه جدا، محلات بآلة بتبعت لك. فليه؟ نتيجه ايه؟ نتيجه تقدم مهني، تقدم تقني وتوافر وخفض تكلفه الاجهزه والبرمجيات. انتشر تحليل البيانات الضخمه في مختلف الانشطه التجاريه والاكاديميه وغيرها. الحاجات الثلاثه الاساسيه اللي شغالين، اشهرهم طبعا الاباتشي هادوب. ده هو ده من ادوات، يعني بيقسم الى ادوات تحليل وادوات بتحلل دفق البيانات وادوات تحليل تفاعلي، اللي هو الاباتشي دريل. ده هو دول اشهر ثلاثه، اباتشي ستورم الثاني واباتشي دريل ده الثالث. دول اشهر حاجات مستخدمه. ان احنا على الاقل نعرف الدنيا دي بتمشي ازاي، وده ايه، ده مهم جدا. يعني محو الاميه المعلوماتيه في النقطه دي ده مهم جدا بالنسبه لنا كمكتبيين. الاباتشي هادوب ده برنامج او منصه، ده من يعني اشهر حاجه بيشتغل في الموضوع ده. يمكن من خلالها استخراج القيمه المطلوبه من البيانات الضخمه والعمل عليها. يعمل على الربط بين مجموعه من الخوادم والتعامل معها كانها ساعه تخزينيه واحده، وبالتالي يمكن بالتالي تمكين برامج تحليل البيانات من التعامل معها والاستفاده. طب اوجه الاستفاده بقى فيها ايه بالمكتبات؟ تعزيز ودعم اعاده الهيكله الاداريه، اداره الخدمات والانشطه، خفض تكلفه الانتاج، كل حاجه. يعني اداره الخدمات والانشطه، ايه النشاط اللي عليه تركيز اكتر اعرفه، ايه النشاط اللي عليه تركيز اقل اطوره. هو تركيز اقل ليه؟ مش مناسب. طب ايه المناسب؟ طب بزود ازاي؟ طب بعالج ازاي؟ دراسات المستفيدين، ما هم المستفيدين بيعلقوا، المستفيدين بيشاركوا، المستفيدين بيبعتوا. طب الحاجات دي كلها بيتم تحليلها، اقدر ان انا ارقى. اداره مجموعات المكتبه، ايه الكتب اللي عليها طلب اكتر عشان اعمل منها تزويد؟ ايه الكتب اللي عليها طلب اقل؟ طب وليه الطلب الاقل؟ طب ما انا ممكن استغل النقط دي كلها. الرؤية الاستشرافية للبيانات الضخمة، اكتشاف الفرص غير المستغلة ومواضع الإهدار. أنا بأنفق على حاجات معينة بس طب العائد يبقى ده موضع إهدار. طب أقدر أعالجه إزاي؟ من ثم توفير الجهد والوقت والمال، رفع الكفاءة والفعالية لاستغلال أمثل للموارد المتاحة، دعم القدرة على التنبؤ، الناس محتاجة إيه بعد كده عشان أقدر أوصل، تحسين العمليات وتقديم خدمات وأنشطة أفضل، اتخاذ قرارات مبنية على واقع فعلا الناس دي ردود الناس ودي طلبات الناس، وده الأثر اللي المكتبة عاملاه. كرة القدم استفادت إزاي؟ نادي ليفربول، قامت إدارة نادي ليفربول بتحليل البيانات الضخمة لفريقها والفرق المنافسة، ثم جمع المعلومات من الفيديوهات وتحليلها والخروج بإحصائيات عن تحركات اللاعبين والثغرات التي تحدث في الملعب واستلام الكرات وفرص. كل ده تم تحليله على الكمبيوتر، واماكن المساحات الفارغه وكل لاعب سرعته، ده يقدر يملى الفراغ ده ولا ما يقدرش يملى الفراغ ده، مناطق التمرير والتسديد والخروج باحتمالات لسد الثغرات وتسجيل الاهداف. تم وضع برامج التدريب وفقا لهذه النتائج. نموذج الكلام ده اثر ايه؟ اثر ان ليفربول كان 2015 الثامن، 2019 الاول، دلوقتي بقى وصل للثالث بس بيلعب، يعني وصل كلنا عارفين محمد صلاح. لكن إذا كانت فرق كرة القدم استغلت تحليل مجموعات البيانات الضخمة لتطوير نتاجها، فواجب علينا إحنا، حري بنا إحنا كمكتبيين بنشتغل في المعلومات وبنشتغل في البيانات، إن إحنا نستخدم لتطوير وتحسين خدمات المكتبة، ولا سيما أن مجال عملنا هو توفير وإتاحة البيانات والمعلومات. التحديات التي تواجه المكتبات طبعا الفورية وسرعة البيانات. احنا محتاجين مواكبة لهذه السرعة. المفاضلة هي ايه طب ما انا قاعد بتكلم كلام كتير جدا، ايه الكلام اللي فعلا هيستفاد بيه. بنتي بتكلمني في حاجات كتير جدا. طب ليه كلمه البرجر هي اللي التقطت؟ المفاضله انهي كلمه تتاخد، انهي حاجه تتساب، انهي سيرش يتاخد، انهي سيرش يتساب، لان في كلام كتير جدا. ما البيانات ضخمه. طب ايه اللي هنتقيه؟ الحاجات الاداريه، الخصوصيه. طب ما هو كده ده اقتحام للخصوصيه. ما دي احد المشاكل. انت اقتحمت خصوصيتي عشان انت تعمل تسويق لمنتج. التحدي المالي، تكاليف البرامج، تكاليف الاجهزه، تكاليف التدريب، المهارات الفنيه، الناس دي محتاجه تتدرب. ايه البرامج، ايه والتكلفه، القدرات واحتياجات وتوقعات مجتمع الصين. ده تحدي. مجتمع المستفيد النهارده باصص لي ان انا عايز اوفر له ولا اديله اكتر ما هو بياخده على الموبايل ولا على السمارت فون. طب انا لسه بدي اقل من كده. لا، هو عايز اعلى من كده. الجيل الناشئ. استشراف المستقبل ده وصلوا بعد كده ان هم بيتكلموا في رقمنة المشاعر. رقمنة المشاعر. ان انا حد عمل بوست معين انا حطيت له قلب. طب ليه انا ما عملتش لايك؟ طب ليه انا عملت اشارة كده او علامة كده؟ دي معناها ان انا بتمنى، دي معناها ان انا بايد، دي معناها ان انا بدعم، دي معناها انها اوكي، دي معناها ان لا ده حاجه مش كويسه. دي الموضوع ده كمان بيدرسوا فيه ان هو يطور جدا. عشان انا مش هعرف انت ده مجرد ما انت تعمل اللايك او تعمل الاشاره انا فهمتك انت عايز تقول ايه. عملت اشاره غضب سواء في الواتس، سواء في الفيس، سواء في التويتر، سواء عملت علامه غضب، عملت علامه كذا، عملت علامه كذا. أنا فهمت مشاعرك تجاه هذا الموضوع. فالفيز اللي جاي بيتكلموا فيه عن رقمنة المشاعر. التوصيات طبعا، عقد الدورات والبرامج لتوعية البيانات الضخمة للمكتبيين. الناس يعني ايه اساسا بيانات ضخمة؟ ده هنستفاد بيها. لان ده الاستفادة فيها فوق تخيلك. وضع البرامج التدريبيه للتعامل معاها تقنيا واداريا، طبعا في ضوء التحديات، في ضوء ان انت ما تقتحمش الخصوصيه، في ضوء التحديات الماليه، في ضوء تضميد البيانات الضخمه في المقررات الدراسيه. الطلبه اللي في الكليه طالعين مش لسه بيدرسوا في حاجات يعني انتهت تقريبا او شبه انتهت. تشجيع باحثي الدراسات العليا، وده مهم جدا، الدراسات العليا على القيام بدراستهم حولها. انشاء البنى الاساسيه واعداد الخطط الاستراتيجيه ليها على المدى الطويل. ان انا بعد قد ايه، زي ما كانت استاذه دينا تفضلت، ان انا بزرع النهارده عشان احصد بكره على خطه استراتيجيه على المدى الطويل.
Doctor, we have run out of time. If you can wrap up.
Just 1 minute.
Thank you.
عقد طبعا ان انا ببتدي، إن انا مش هينفع ابتدي لوحدي، لكن لازم شراكات تعاون، لازم تكتلات، لازم كونسورتيومز. ان انا ببتدي مع الكونسورتيومز ده، وان انا عشان اقف وابتدي اتحرك. فعقد وتعزيز شراكات التعاون بين المكتبات في البيانات الضخمه مع مشاركه الخبرات واستغلال البيانات الاخرى لكل منهم. اخيرا، ليس المهم جمع وتحليل البيانات الضخمه، لكن كيفيه، مش المهم ان انا اجمع واحلل، كيفيه الاستغلال والاستفاده من المعلومات المستخرجه. بس مع ملاحظه ان ده لا يغني عن دور الاداره، فهم من يقودون المركبه، وما مخرجات البيانات الضخمه الا امكانيات ومؤشرات تحتاج الى قرارات التوجيه برضه من الاداره. فلن البيانات الضخمه مهمه جدا في استغلالها، ولكنها لن تغني عن دور الاداره. شكرا لحضراتكم واتمنى ان اكون قد اطلت.
Yes, thank you so much, Doctor, for unpacking what is also quite a topical issue in our field. I'll take 2 questions, burning questions, if there are any. Going 1. Any questions? 2. Any burning question? 1. Okay. So what remains for me is to thank Dr. Ahmed for the great presentation. I think you tried really to simplify issues in big data in libraries. You spoke about the age of zettabyte moving from terabyte. And I also liked the examples that you gave in terms of the Mo Salah example in football, and also, of course, the hamburger. I'm not usually a fan of burgers, but the way you described it, I was tempted to like one. So thank you so much for your presentation. Let's give him another round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So. Right, next is Dr. Mohsen Omar Saib, who is a subject librarian and lecturer at the Durban University of Technology in South Africa. I must also indicate that he is one of the founding members of this organization. Since 2019, he has been part of it together with his colleagues from the Durban University of Technology. Welcome. If you are ready, we are ready for you.
Thank you, John.
So you have 15 minutes. I will indicate when it's 5 minutes to go, then you can wrap up. His topic is Emerging Technologies and Higher Education Libraries, a bibliometric analysis of global literature.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Thank you to the session chair, Dr. Moyo. Good afternoon to the esteemed hosts, scholars, researchers, seasoned experts, and peers. As you've heard, my name is Mohsen Omar Saib, and I'm from Mzansi, commonly known as South Africa. Over the past few years, my focus has been on digital pedagogy and teaching information literacy. However, recently I've developed an interest in emerging technologies, indigenous knowledge, knowledge management, systematic reviews, and bibliometric analysis. It's an honor to be here today and share valuable insights on my topic with you. In the next few minutes, I hope to paint a quantifiable picture showcasing the leading journals, authors, countries, most cited sources, and collaborative network patterns related to emerging technologies in higher education libraries. By the end of this presentation, I hope you'll walk away with a better understanding of the trends in emerging technologies and higher education libraries. Colleagues, I beg for your patience as this is a very technical paper, so please listen attentively. SDGs comprise 17 objectives that are interlinked and tend to provide a blueprint for the public and private sectors. Some of these objectives aim to alleviate poverty, inequality, injustices, and poor education. Consequently, SDGs also map the strategic direction and goals of universities in higher education libraries and the goals of universities. Higher education libraries, being subsidiaries of universities, also develop their mission, vision, and goals from universities, which filter from these SDGs. Although these 17 goals are interconnected, SDGs 4 and 10 have carved a distinct path for higher education libraries since universities are streamlining their position on these goals. Within this context, higher education libraries are busy exploring how emerging technologies can support the university agenda based on SDGs 4 and 10. Emerging technologies encompass a broad spectrum of innovations that are in the early stages of development and adoption. These include artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, augmented and virtual reality, and the Internet of Things. However, currently emerging technologies in higher education libraries paint a blurred picture. Globally, even if one scans the extant literature, you will find there are pockets of brilliance associated with emerging technologies and higher education libraries. Still, there are limited studies that draw meaningful conclusions on the impact of emerging technologies in higher education libraries. The literature suggests that the impact of emerging technologies on higher education libraries is unclear. And not short of challenges, we all know about these challenges. We're sitting in this room today, the financial constraints, inadequate skill sets, infrastructure issues, lack of professional development opportunities for staff. So within this current climate, a bibliometric analysis focusing on emerging technologies is significantly important for higher education libraries. A bibliometric analysis can help position the discussion as it maps global trends, leading journals, and leading authors. This will assist higher education libraries on how to optimize the integration of emerging technologies to support their strategic direction through scientific works. So what is a bibliometric analysis? Bibliometric analysis is a rigorously applied method that analyzes a large amount of scientific data. It provides scientific direction and unpacks nuances related to trends and topics in a specific field. It also helps analyze the scientific productivity of a topic within a particular field. This presentation aims to demonstrate how scientific mapping and performance analysis were used as primary techniques to understand the topic. The performance analysis technique focused on publication output by country, affiliation, author, and growth trends over 3 decades. In terms of emerging technologies and higher education libraries, scientific mapping was used to orchestrate network mapping, co-authorship analysis, co-occurrence network, and collaboration networks. Our intention was clear. It was try and help remove the blurriness and provide academics and practitioners in the higher education library sector with a better understanding of emerging technologies through a bibliometric analysis. So what were our questions? And it's up on the screen right now. I'm just going to briefly mention what are the global research trends, which are the leading journals, who are the leading authors, which are the most cited articles that contribute to the body of knowledge. And so, globally, Scopus and Web of Science are considered the most reputable citation databases for interrogating bibliometric data, as they are research-intensive platforms that are widely accepted in academia. The tables on this slide present the terms used when searching Scopus and Web of Science. The primary search term being emerging technology is combined with related terms and derivatives to conduct searches and find results. Please note that these searches were done in January 2024, and therefore I am certain that there is more scientific literature added after January 2024 on the topic. So, to answer the research questions, the data needed to be analytically unpacked and then rigorously interpreted using a bibliometric analysis tool called BiblioShiny. This is an interactive web-based tool that is available via a software program called RStudio, and it is used to explore data on emerging technologies and higher education libraries. This tool allows researchers to draw associations, data trends, and make recommendations based on the patterns generated on a topic. With regards to the global trends, the figures provide valuable insights into emerging technologies and higher education libraries. In the past 3 decades, trends depict an annual publication growth of 8.25% between 1994 and 2024. 2 other important trends are the acceleration points in publications between 2018 and 2021, including slight fluctuations that are evident during certain years. These figures also seem to indicate that the concept of emerging technologies in higher education libraries could be at a point of gestation, as the trend and growth depict a constant increase of 8.28% of publication with fluctuations during certain years. This can be supported by a modest annual growth rate of 1.72% worldwide. We believe this quantitative data, through the lens of the combined data set, paints a clear picture related to publication growth trends between 1994 and 2024 on emerging technologies and higher education libraries. Next up, leading journals versus the top 5 producing journals on this topic. The table presents the core journals in the subject area using Bradford's law, which categorizes the journals into 3 zones. The core journals filter in Zone 1 and have the most significant publications. We present the top 10 journals related to emerging technologies and higher education libraries that reside in Zone 1. Next to this are the top 5 producing journals on the topic over the past 3 decades. The top 5 journals present a gradual increase in production between 1994 and 2024. With the advent of the internet and technology between 1994 and 2004, production in the top 5 journals was moderate, as you can see. However, as the internet and technology grew in stature, the topic of emerging technologies also increased and became relevant to these journals. It is interesting to note that between the years 2018 and 2021, there was an escalation in production within the journal Library, Philosophy, and Practice. However, an acceleration in publication is also prevalent in the Journal of Academic Librarianship and Library High Tech. We assume, as the authors, that escalation trends for these journals increased significantly between the years 2020 and 2022, and a contributing factor could be the COVID-19 pandemic. Additionally, SDGs could have also created an urgency, increasing publication growth trends. The following table presents the top authors based on the H-index: total citations, number of publications, and the year authors began publishing on the topic. The H-index is calculated by the number of publications and citations of an author to quantify the impact and productivity over a period. In this slide, we list the top 25 authors based on their H-index through the period 1994 and 2024. The most prominent and leading authors are Chu, Cox, Barrow, and Lowe, based on the H-indexes. In the following slides, we plot the number of author productions over time related to emerging technologies and higher education libraries spanning 2 decades. The slide shows that the most prominent authors and experts who have published in this field for over a decade, such as Chu, Cox, and Barrow. Interestingly, the results presented in this slide also align with the highest H-index slide, where in the same 2 authors who illustrate the highest H-index, total citations and publications are plotted in the production over time, which is Chu and Cox. Besides these 2 prominent authors, there is one classic expert who has been publishing on the topic since 2003, and we identified the person as Zhang Wei. Although the prominent authors have a greater impact, their interest in the topic started 10 years later compared to Zhang. Further, in recent years, there has been one emerging author within the context of the topic, Rafik M. Lotke's law of author productivity is based on a constant formula, which narrates the inverse in power. In other words, as the quantity of documents written increases, then the number of authors publishing over time decreases. Thus, based on Lotke's law, as documents written increase in terms of emerging technologies and higher education libraries, the number of authors decreased. When using bibliometric analysis to explore large amounts of scientific data, it is important to establish the most cited documents globally and locally. Global citations refer to documents cited across the length and breadth of the world by scholars with a scientific collection. On the other hand, local citations indicate which documents have been referenced within the parameters of a scientific collection. The following figures present documents that are most globally and locally cited between 1994 and 2024. If we look at documents cited, articles written by Coral and Teneper appear to be moderately cited locally and globally. However, this is not the same in all instances, as these figures also illustrate that documents can be locally cited and the inverse could apply to global citations. Two examples in these figures are Stock and Harrison. Stock appears as one of the most globally cited documents, yet does not feature prominently in the locally cited documents, and the inverse applies to Harrison. That said, globally, the 3 of the highest cited documents within the context of emerging technologies and higher education libraries are authored by Wang, Ford, and Beale. In terms of locally cited documents, the highest citations were authored by Cox and Teneper. The following figures present the top 10 countries' scientific production on the left, and the top 10 corresponding author countries on the right. However, the figure on the countries on the left focuses on the frequency of scientific publications, while the number of documents on the right identifies the publication trends between corresponding authors. The analysis for corresponding author countries is divided into 2 categories. derived from Bibliotheca, single country publication, generally known as SCP, and multiple country publication, known as MCP. These two categories relate to authors collaborating within a country, commonly referred to as intra, which is SCP, and inter, which is MCP, working together with authors from 2 or more countries. It is noticeable on these slides that the top 10 author countries are the USA, China, United Kingdom, and India. This is also followed by other corresponding author countries in the world. It is commendable to note that the top 10 author countries and the top 10 countries' scientific production, as illustrated in this slide, are the same, with varying rankings. Both these figures correlate with each other, depicting a very important relationship between the frequency of scientific publications and corresponding author countries related to emerging technologies and higher education libraries. The following slide shows that there are seven clusters of authors who have collaborative relationships. Each cluster is represented by a specific color. It can be assumed that authors in the same cluster network often or sometimes collaborate depending on the thickness of the colored line, as you can see on the screen, and the size of the font. This assumption presented is further justified by top authors based on H-index and author production over time, Lotke's law, where in the same cluster, network of authors appears in the findings. From this, we see the cohesiveness and correlations of the data. More importantly, the argument of who are the leading authors that make a significant contribution to emerging technologies and higher education libraries are assumed from the data that correlate with the previous slides on top 10 authors based on H-index, authors' production over time, and this slide that illustrates collaboration and network between authors. There were 50 nodes and 44 links in the network mapping of institutions generated from using the collaboration network option on Bibliotheca. The top 10 universities in terms of cluster, betweenness, and closeness were the University of South Africa, brown, University of North Carolina, red, University of Hong Kong, purple, and Pennsylvania Commonwealth University, which is in blue. This implies that these universities illustrate a strong network collaboration within their cluster, as displayed in the slide. The strong visibility of the colored links between the University of South Africa and the University of Ghana also justifies that there are robust efforts between certain institutions on the topic. The collaboration network also presents certain institutions in much larger font size than others in the same cluster. These are the leading institutions within the cluster on the topic. When universities are plotted against the top 10 corresponding author countries in the previous slide, then it becomes clear that the top 10 universities are from the same countries. This confirms which are the leading countries and institutions in emerging technologies and higher education libraries globally. And I'm on to my last slide, and Dr. Moyo is looking at me. Yes. Okay, so notably, the core journals based on Bradford's law correlate with the top 5 producing journals. This is very important for researchers to consider when contributing to the knowledge base on emerging technologies and higher education libraries. The USA, China, India, and the UK are the top 4 most productive countries. They are also the top 4 corresponding author countries. Although the rest of the countries have significantly contributed to the knowledge base, it is suggested that they produce more literature on the topic to compete with the top 4 countries. More importantly, this is quite important, knowing who the leading authors are can help higher education libraries network with these figures to learn through seminars, workshops, and conferences. It can also provide LIS schools with the opportunity to network with these experts to learn how emerging technologies can be integrated into the curriculum. Also, higher education libraries can invite such experts when deciding how to integrate emerging technologies into their facilities, services, and digital resources. Knowing which are the leading journals can direct LIS scholars and practitioners where to publish when submitting manuscripts. Being clued up on the leading citations and documents can help one when pursuing postgraduate studies on the topic, or even contacting these experts or leading authors for guidance. Knowing who the leading countries are and institutions opens a window of opportunities to partner with them and learn about emerging technologies within one's region. Thank you.
Thank you. Please join me here. Thank you, Dr. Mohsin, for also simplifying things for us and sharing your findings in terms of emerging technologies and higher education libraries. Are there any burning questions? Yes, there's one question here. There's a mic behind you.
Please, I want to ask, so in that case, if anyone send his or her manuscript to library philosophy and practice, is it not credible? Because from the results that you showed, I can see that library philosophy is the least journal that manuscripts are sent and published. Thank you.
No.
Maybe I didn't understand,
No,
so I
I
need to
actually said it's the most prominent journal. That means it's a Q1 journal, and it's a recognized journal, and it's one of the top, I think it's the top one. So yeah, I hope that clarifies things for you. Sorry.
Thank you. And in terms of turnaround time, it's also usually quite quick. You may know that. Another burning question?
Can I just say something?
Yes, please.
I think that librarians are very apprehensive about looking into a bibliometric study, because the issue is the search strategy, how they develop that, and the tools that are available. And if you listen to Prof earlier this morning, he spoke about us learning programming skills. So I learned Bibliotheca in December last year because of one of my colleagues. I learned how to program on R. So our X factor, and let me share this with you, was that if you go and look in the literature, you're never going to find in a hurry where they've integrated Scopus and Web of Science data. It's very difficult to do that. And therefore, this article was actually published already. And because I think the editors saw that, it was so unique to do that, you know, so I'm saying, guys, go and play with these tools, and you will learn how to use them and integrate the data and provide. So what Bibliotheca does, it gives you all the data. What you're seeing now is straight from the software. The pictures, the images that you see are straight from there. But you need to interpret that. You need to make meaningful interpretations of the data and paint a picture in terms of your topic. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And on that note, let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you so much. And keep coming to ISO.
I will, as long as you have
Thank you. Next, we have an online paper. I hope the colleagues are ready to join us. The paper focuses on artificial intelligence, knowledge generation between acceptance and rejection as a tool to enhance project-based learning and professors' performance in private higher education sector in Egypt. The paper has 3 presenters. Dr. Hala A. Sadafi Bakri and Dr. Rasha Ismail and Engineer Mazen Tarek Khali. Okay. Yeah, if they are ready, you can take it away.
Yes, hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'll share my presentation, just a second.
Yeah, please go ahead and share your screen.
Can you see it?
We can see it, but looks like it's in the corner. Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. All right. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Rasha Ismail, and I'm presenting from Iraq. That's why I wasn't able to come and attend with you today. I'd like to introduce our topic today and research is about artificial intelligence knowledge generation between acceptance and rejection as a tool to enhance project-based learning and professor in private higher education sector in Egypt. So first of all, let me introduce our topic. Our topic is about using generative AI in education used by students and instructors as well, or professors as well. So let's just explain our issue here that we have revolutionizing technology being used in education nowadays. And therefore, I mean, technology is accelerating at a very high speed, especially after the, COVID-19 and after all the wars that we are going through. So education now most likely is relying on digitization, let me say, using electronic applications like Zoom, for example, to attend classes, to give, deliver classes, and so on. One of the most, and namely the most important one out of all those generative artificial intelligence is the ChatGPT, where ChatGPT is very well known, as you can find the answer for any question. It could be like a problem-solving technique or methodology that you just ask a question and you find the answers personalized according and customized according to whatever the way that you want to present it. So you can customize even whatever is going to be displayed on the screen. Therefore, we consider it as a problem-solving technique, and therefore, actually, we're going to discuss how this can help in education and how this can improve the professors as well as the students' educational system. Regarding the objectives and originality of this research, basically, we're trying to assess the effectiveness of digitization in improving social sustainability. And here is social sustainability, that it focuses on the professors and their performance, their well-being, their mentality, their timing, having fun times or entertainment times, as this can help them to improve their performance and provide better educational systems to the students. So we focused on the Egyptian private higher education in our selecting our sample. Whenever we're talking about the theoretical implications, we actually relied on the project-based learning in matrix law. In the project-based learning, the idea here is behind the higher education as using those techniques to encourage the problem-solving techniques. And actually, regarding metrics law, we focused on the acceleration of return. So accordingly, we tie them to the explored rapid change in technology that is also producing and accelerating return as well. So these are the two applications where we're going to focus and use and rely on while we are going to learn more about this research. So,
sorry, Doctor, can you put it on full screen?
It's not on full screen?
Yes.
Okay, just a second. So here, just a second.
Okay, if you can't, then you can just proceed.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to bring it to full screen. Okay. Anyway, so, all right. Let me go back to my presentation.
The icon is down there. Where your cursor is, just take it to the other side. Not on top, but down.
Down?
Yes. Just jump those icons. No. Yeah, down there. Yeah, just go down there. Yeah, that one. Yes. No. You have passed it. There we No, you have passed it again.
Participants?
The next
Chair?
one, the next icon, you are jumping it there.
I don't see it. I do have only participants.
The slideshow here, the slideshow besides the Zoom place.
Okay, I think we just have to compromise here and allow them to proceed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I mean, okay.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I'm sorry, I cannot share it. I mean, that's the first time for me to use this application. I used to use Teams and Zoom, so I'm so sorry. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so let me go back and, okay. So our objectives and originality, we find that the study here is actually, yes, as I told you, and now the innovation in the future outlook is just to see how these new technologies and methodologies actually are affecting education, and they can cause this revolutionizing the education in Egypt. I don't know if you can see this diagram. It's about the metrics law. So here we have the organization change that is at logarithmic rate, and the technology changes at an exponential rate. So you find that the organizational change is moving at slower pace than the technology change. There is a big gap between both of them, and therefore this gap actually needs to be compensated by the management. And therefore those management, they have to think about technology, they have to look at technology, but at the meantime they have to absorb it at their own bandwidth, as long as, or depending on how they can reach this compensation. So the methodology here is, again, talking about the two project-based learning in the metrics law. So we're going to find out the method for enhancing education quality. In the meantime, how this can affect positively the students' problem solving in the techniques of education. Metrics law is telling us about this accelerating returns, and therefore we can find this accelerating returns due to the rapid advancements in technology. Our hypothesis is telling us that there's a positive correlation between the use of artificial intelligence illustration method by professors and enhanced educational experiences for students. So therefore, there is a correlation between AI and the students and the educational experience of those students. So we're going to focus on social sustainability. That is the main aim. The main focus here is the social sustainability of professors, and therefore this will be reflected to the students. The second and the third assumption, as we can see, that we focus on effectiveness of professors and their performance as well. So H2 is asking about the positive correlation between artificial intelligence tools and the professor's efficiency and time management. And the third hypothesis is the positive correlation between artificial intelligence tools and the professor's overall performance. So actually, we are trying to measure these three hypotheses in order to find how this can also affect the students' performance. And this could be also measured in terms of the students' engagement, attendance, satisfaction in the class, and so on. So finally, I'd like to explain something before we leave our methodology. It's the project-based learning and the reliance on this digital methodology and the new tool that can help professors to find out new ways to include their content in a better way, save their time, find better methods and techniques to explain their contents, to present it to the students, and so on. We are going to measure social sustainability in terms of 3 parameters. The first one is time saving and mental health. That is telling us how far the use of AI can save the professors' time, and saving their time can help them make use and enhance their mental health as well. The second one is the student approval of professors' teaching, where we are going to evaluate before and after the use of AI, how students are participation and evaluation to the professors is affected. And the third one is the career development. So actually, we are going also to evaluate how the professors are developing in their career and growing in their career after the use of artificial intelligence. So therefore, artificial intelligence now became something important in teaching, and we need to look at it whether it's playing a role or it's affecting the educational system or the professors who are delivering and introducing the topics to the students in a better way. If we look at this diagram, we do have here is the AI independent variable. It's on this side. These are the dependent variables where we do have social sustainability, upon which we are going to measure our dependent constructs, time management, enhanced educational experience, and the performance rate. So these are the 3 variables coming out of social sustainability upon which we are going to produce our survey, or we already produced our survey to the professors, and now I'm going to talk about the sample. So our sample came from the universities from Egypt, and this is not the sample, this is the survey first. So the survey is covering 29 questions upon which we're going to find out the effect of the independent over the dependent. So those 20 questions, 3 of them were open-ended questions, 14 were 5-point Likert style questions, 3 were dichotomous questions. Testing the academic performance, there were 6 closed-end questions were allocated in the survey. Time management, there were 6 end questions, closed-end questions, and 1 open-end question were allocated in the survey. Enhanced educational experience, there were 4 closed-end questions and 1 open-end question were allocated as well. So the final overall AI importance, we have already included 1 closed-end question and 1 open-end question, and then all these survey and these questions in this survey actually they've been used to measure the effect of artificial intelligence on education and enhanced educational experience. Our population sampling is from Eastern Cairo, and that was from 4 universities that have been selected. Those universities actually, we encompassed all the colleges or the schools of those universities. And as well, we had like 150 professors, and we included also teaching assistants from all those 4 universities, but we already selected only 42 respondents from the 150 that we have calculated. This calculation came from the website, and it came from asking the HR, the human resource departments of those universities. So we selected our sample and the population based on that. Then we used Levine's test in order to calculate or to test the reliability and validity of the dependent variables or the variables in general. And the results showed us that there is error variance of the dependent variables that is equal among all or across all the groups of the test. So therefore, we can say that AI is consistent and its effect is consistent among all the dependent variables, and we can have the same effect on all the dependent variables if we use artificial intelligence in education. Now here are the results that the multivariate test impact of AI is that we had a significance of 0.1, that is less than 0.05, which means that AI significantly affects the professor's overall performance, so that the academic performance as well is affected, and therefore time management is affected, and the educational experience of the student and the professor is affected. It means that there is a correlation, yes, there is correlation, and there is an effect if we use artificial intelligence in education. And the conclusion is that the null hypothesis, H1, is rejected, confirming that AI's significant effect or has significant effect on human performance. Also, the covariance test actually shows us that its significance is 0.297, that's less than 0.005, which means that artificial intelligence has equal effect on all dependent variables. That means it has the same effect across all the human performance variables or parameters. So in general, that we can now accept the null hypothesis H0, indicating that AI has equal effect all the dependent or measured variables. In general, at the end, I can just finalize that the result of the research accepts the hypothesis that artificial intelligence affects the instructor's performance, and that the null hypothesis is rejected. And I hope that was clear enough, and that helped us. Sorry about my presentation that I couldn't make it full screen. And if you please have any questions, let me know.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Please, let's give a big round of applause. Thank you again for simplifying the topic. It's quite a topical issue these days. So thank you for sharing your results. Any burning questions from the floor? Any question? Okay, so let's give them another round of applause. Thank you so much. We have our last paper presentation from one colleague here, which is focusing on the edge of artificial intelligence, examining adoption of AI among academic libraries. This is going to be presented by Miss Jennifer Antwi, who is an assistant librarian at Accra Technical University in Ghana. We are also going to afford her between 10 to 15 minutes, if you can be quick, please, for need of our time. Then after that, we will have 2 minutes of questions in case there will be burning questions. Otherwise, you can hold on to your questions and engage with the presenter during some of our breaks here at this conference. There we go, over to you.
Good evening.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm presenting on the title, The Age of AI, Examining Adoption of AI Among Academic Libraries. I'm Jennifer Antwi from Accra Technical University, Ghana. This is the outline of my presentation. I'll talk brief about the introduction, the problem statement, then the methodology findings. Okay. This is the outline of my presentation. I'll look at the introduction brief, the statement problem, the objective, methodology, findings. On your screen, you see a diagram, and I'll take you through brief This is the medieval, the first one is the medieval library. That's the old library, the library in the building. That's where the library started. Then the library moved to digital library. That's the introduction of ICT in libraries, using IT technologies in the library to help in library routines. That's the operations of the library. Then we are now at the last stage, which is the artificial intelligence era. The Industrial Revolution has completely changed traditional productive methods content that the rapid expansion of IT has altered library procedures as well as the process involved in the creation, archiving, retrieval, and dissemination of information. AI currently permeates daily computing activities, and the majority of modern computer systems and mobile devices have AI capabilities that we are ignorant of. Today, to improve their operations, academic and research libraries have incorporated IT tools and software packages, such as the social media platforms that we have, the Web 2, and many others. The library has evolved from the medieval era, where its meaning has changed from the physical building and now centers on collective and service delivery virtually, where users are served in a remote location. The majority of libraries worldwide, including some academic and research libraries in Ghana, in Africa, have advanced their use of artificial intelligence. The problem statement. Libraries offer material services. Libraries offer materials, services, and venues that facilitate teaching, learning, and intellectual investigation. Academic libraries play a crucial role in universities' research and teaching missions. Since the development of artificial intelligence, there has been a surge in interest in figuring out how to incorporate AI technology into academic services, academic library services, best to maximize their efficacy and efficiency. Even with AI potential advantages, there are several obstacles to overcome when integrating these technologies into academic libraries. More concerns are raised about the introduction of AI into Ghanaian research and academic libraries. In light of this, the study looked at how university libraries in Ghana have incorporated AI, thus data management, bookshelf management, and library retrieval system into their operation. Employee librarians will benefit from the evaluation in terms of how they view the application of AI from the findings. The findings of the study could be used by academic library administration and tech-inclined staff members to encourage colleagues to adopt AI technologies in the workplace. The following is the objective of my study: to determine the degree of appropriate use of the fundamental IT tools and knowledge that is easily accessible for integrating AI into library operations, to find out how AI features are used in library operations, to assess how library employees have adapted to using AI elements in their daily work, and to look into the main obstacles libraries face while implementing AI functionality. The methodology. The approach I used was qualitative approach. The design was case study technique. The population was 19 participants, where heads of all the departments were selected. I mean the librarian, the reference librarian, electronic resource librarian, IT support administrator. Sampling technique, I use purposive. Data collection tool, I use semi-structured tool. Then analysis, I use thematic content analysis. Ethical consideration, informed concerns, and anonymity concerns. So on the table, this displays the population that I used. Presentation of findings. Software application used in the library operation. When it came to software application incorporated into library operations, the participants were questioned. And this is the outcome, the results that I found. University of Ghana Library, that's the BAM Library, told me, yes, they have a software application inculcated in their operations. That's the library management system. And they use Sierra. They use my LibGuide and many others. Types of software application used in the libraries, as I identified above. And this is the result that I got. This result was supported by Janja 2019. Perception of using software application in the operation of libraries by the staff. And this is the result that I got. One person said, yes, there is a need since it manages the library system to support teaching and learning and research. Adequate basic IT facilities in facilitating AI adoption in library operations. If we are inculcating AI applications in our library operations, there must be ICT facilities. And the findings showed the available ICT facilities at both libraries. And this was supported by Dupe and Jobs 2022. Adequate usage and perception of IT tools in current library operations. And this is the findings. Adequate usage and perception of IT tools in current libraries. And this was supported again by Janja 2019. Availability of IT expertise in the library operations. And the findings revealed that both libraries that I did the study have IT personnel. The library staff adoption to change the usage of IT features in their operations. When it comes to IT and AI, the vast majority of participants in the interview expressed how happy they were with the new trend and period libraries are entering. The library's IT support department regularly arranges for staff training. Without hesitation, they all joined in to gain knowledge of what their library had integrated, and they were questioned once more. In conclusion, the Industrial Revolution has completely changed traditional productivity. IT has altered library In conclusion, the Industrial Revolution has completely changed traditional productivity. It has altered library procedures as well as the processes involved in the creation, archiving, retrieval, and dissemination of information. Since artificial intelligence is a computer program that mimics human intelligence, it will benefit academic libraries and information services by providing a wealth of data that will enhance research and teaching at universities and research centers. The library has evolved from the medieval era, where its meaning has changed drastically from the physical building and now centers on collection and service delivery virtually, where users are served in a remote location. The majority of the libraries worldwide, including some academic and research libraries in Africa, have advanced their use of artificial intelligence. The findings depicted the availability of basic IT facilities, technology-based software, and IT expertise in both libraries. This indicated how ready the library staff was to adapt to new trends in technology in libraries from the findings of the study. However, BAM Library uses other features which Ghana communication technology is not using, like Web 2 and many others. Similar challenges were identified from the findings. It was again revealed that none of the libraries are currently using the feature of AI under study. Budget cuts, unstable internet connectivity, etc. were the challenges identified based on the findings of the study. Thank you.
Thank you so much for also simplifying the topic to us. We really appreciate. Are there any burning questions? I can hear some noise outside, which means the other group is out and we need to wrap up also. Any burning questions? But Jennifer is here. We can further engage with her. Yes, I see one question at the back.
Thank you so much for your presentation. I'll need to ask further questions. Like, for instance, back then in 2020 or 2021 and 2022, we had some ICT training in Tamale Library, the regional library at Tamale. And I don't know, your study, is it encouraging to incorporate AI, and how is it going to, like, people are going to learn about it in the libraries as they were able to train people in ICT training and all those things? Will you recommend that people, they roll out AI, how to use AI within those libraries? Please, do you get me?
I didn't get you.
All
but
right.
The study was basically based on, the population was based on the staff, that's the employees. So if the staff gets the concept of AI, the introduction of AI in their operations, normally, at first we used to shelve books manually. We used to catalog books, process the books manually. We used to do everything manually, borrowing books manually. The ICT came, the IT tool came, IT tools came to help in support of it. That's the library management system. In some universities' libraries, we use management systems for borrowing. You don't go and take the book, go by the counter and pick the, get the books as we used formerly. But now, you just check out the books. You can do it by yourself virtually. So the study was based on the staff. That's the staff of the library. If you were following, the population was the head librarians, the electronic resource librarians, the reference librarian. When you get to the library, you see people sitting in front of the counter. They are the reference librarians. They receive you first before you, they help you to get whatever you want in the library. So the study was based on these people, the heads of the departments in the library.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Another question? I don't see another hand. Can we give her another? Yes, I see a quick, I hope it's a quick question.
Okay, thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. My question is a bit outside the presentation, okay, because I have a personal interaction with you yesterday, and you were saying that researchers need to go to the library to get relevant and accurate information. So I want to ask that is it always the case that we need to go to the library? Because, you know, of late we have online library. The library is now online. You can access the library online. So I want clarity whether it is always like it's mandatory for researchers, because for me, I'm a postgraduate student and I'm doing research. So I want to get a clarity whether it's necessary to go to the library, or if I have the information online, it's not necessary for me to go to the library. So this is my question.
It's very necessary for you to go to the library. Though we have digital library, you still need a library professional to assist you to get the strategies in searching for information. We have a lot of information online, but as a postgraduate student, you are in academia. you are in academic environment, and you need to get relevant information, not any other information. You have to take into consideration where you are getting the information, the author of the author who produced the information. And you can't just do anything, and we have predatory journals out there. So if you don't go to the library or consult an information professional, how are you going to differentiate between predatory journal or Web of Science journal? And if you are done and you are publishing your work, you still have to consult someone, because you may not know how to get the correct journals that you have to, credible journals that you have to publish in. So you still have to go to see the information professional.
Thank you. On that note, let's give a round of applause. Right, thank you so much for your listenership. I see another hand at the back, but you can engage with Jennifer outside this room. Let's give the last round of applause to all the 5 presenters, please. And thank you for being good contributors to this session. We really appreciate it. Let's take a short break and we meet in the next session.
Yeah.